Ladies and gentlemen, our top story is a cautionary tale for all of you. We are doing this show to make you aware of just how close you are to being scammed out of your hard-earned money by cyber criminals, especially if you are a senior citizen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to admit this. We are living in the midst of a scamdemic, and it usually starts with a phone call. These are calls all of us have got. In the old days, these calls were from an innocuous bank official asking us for our credit card details. But now the scam is so sophisticated, it is difficult to tell whether you're being duped till the money has gone out of your bank. The RBI, the CBI, the ED, the Narcotics Control Bureau, the police, the TRAI. The name of every law enforcing agency is now being used to defraud you of your hard-earned money. Here's the call you get. I'm calling from TRAI. Your connection will be cut if you don't call back. I'm calling from RBI. Your credit card is being blocked if you don't call back or press 123, etc., etc. All of us have got these calls. We know they are frauds. We block them and then we move on. But that is not how it always plays out. It now turns out that even some of India's richest tycoons are not immune to cyber frauds. SP Oswal, the 82-year-old CEO of the renowned Vardhman Group that is worth $1 billion, has been defrauded of 7 crore rupees, ladies and gentlemen. In a heist that seems to be straight out of a Bollywood thriller, you remember Special 26? Mr. Oswal was deceived by fraudsters imposing as CBI officers. Look at how elaborate the scam was. They called him and said his Aadhaar card had been misused to make fake passports and conduct financial frauds. They even brought in Naresh Goyal into the picture. So it started, as I said, as it always does with a phone call. The caller introduced himself to Mr. Oswal as a CBI officer from Mumbai. Then to convince him, he also video called the 82-year-old, in which it seemed that this so-called CBI officer was sitting in a CBI office because there was a big CBI logo right behind him. This group of scamsters then sent Mr. Oswal an arrest warrant on WhatsApp that was supposedly sanctioned by the Supreme Court. So elaborate was the scam that Mr. Oswal was also made to witness a fake Supreme Court hearing where the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, was supposedly speaking. The CEO of the $1 billion Vardhman Group panicked and fell for the trap. Many people do, especially senior citizens. In order to save himself from the arrest, the industrialist transferred 7 crore rupees in 2 different bank accounts. It was only later, when he spoke to a senior manager in his office, did he realize that he had been duped by cyber criminals. An FIR was lodged in Ludhiana and 2 people have been arrested so far from Guwahati. Thankfully for Mr. Oswal, 5.25 crore rupees have been recovered from these fraudsters. The hunt is currently underway for 5 others. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Oswal was lucky. Many people who get defrauded of their hard-earned money never get it back. We all personally know of such cases. Just ask around, you'll know. Mr. Oswal is the second industrialist to be duped of crores within a week. Rajni Chahuja was duped after fraudsters threatened him again with an arrest warrant and forced him to transfer 1 crore rupees to a bank account. The numbers are astonishing, really astonishing. Last year, there were 2,264 such cases reported every day. That means a financial scam done via the telephone every 20 seconds. Now, some of you may think that people like Mr. Oswal probably deserved it for being gullible enough to fall for it. But that's not the entire story. The man is 82 years old. Senior citizens, more than anyone else, are susceptible to these calls because they are not comfortable with today's technology, especially when it comes to detecting scams that are based on them. Moreover, these scammers are always ahead of the curve. From simple credit card or UPI scams, they have now graduated to playing on your emotions, either by threatening you or your loved ones with the prospect of arrest, so that you're scared into paying them. As the sophistication of these scams continue to escalate, the need of the hour is to remain vigilant and proactive in educating ourselves and our loved ones, especially our senior citizens, to recognize and resist such deceitful tactics. But how do you even do that? My guests are going to be telling us that. Dr. Rakshit Tandon is a cybersecurity expert. He is joining us on the broadcast. PK Jain is a former additional DGP of Maharashtra, joining us on the broadcast as well. And Murli Krishnan is a victim. He's joining us on the broadcast. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Murli Krishna, I'm going to start with you. You know, many people are saying this was clearly a scam. How did Mr. Oswal not see it? You have been a victim yourself.
Yeah.
You would probably know.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Krishna, I can.
Yeah. Even though initially we did not recognize that it's a scam, they highly manipulate us. They prove that they're genuine, and slowly will go into their trap. They'll wait until we go into the trap. Then they're doing all this business, whatever they're doing. Actually, how I was being.
Can you tell us what had happened with you?
They offered me they offered me a job, right? That's in Singapore. So they have shown all the details, university details, officer details, and they conducted an online interview, and they spoke a lot about my PhD thesis and all. So I started believing them. Then they started asking money for renewing the application and for the transport and all. So slowly they started taking 1 lakh once, 2 lakhs once, like that. Total they charged me 3.5 lakhs. So background check I have done through my friends and all. So when I come to know there is no such professor name, there is no such department actually. Then I realized it's a fraud, and I immediately reported at the crime branch.
Dr. Rakshit Tandon, you've seen, we are hearing from Mr. Krishna who's saying the scam is so elaborate. It is so sophisticated that even someone like Mr. Krishna fell for it. He has a PhD, for heaven's sake. And even he fell for it. So for senior citizens to fall for scams like this, we shouldn't be terribly unkind to them and probably make an effort to educate them, right?
Right. So, Shreya, there's also one more thing which we have been seeing is that in these crimes, there are not only senior citizens who have been victimized in these kind of digital arrest crimes. We have seen young people as well in the range of 40, 45. Either they're a teacher, a software engineer, and a professor from a university. So there are multiple scams like this, and you're right, they are very smart in the sense because they today are playing on your data. So it is actually a data weaponization game. Anyone calling you randomly and saying that I'm calling from such department, you will not pay heed. But the moment they mention, hello, Mr. Tandon, I'm calling from so-and-so department, is this your Aadhaar number? Is this your address? Is this your father's name? And they start like this. And when they show me that document, which is actually scanned with a logo, with a signature, and even if I'm smart enough to Google that whether this officer is available in such and such department, so to your surprise, actually there is a person named like him. So when they create these fake documents and send them on WhatsApp, they actually look like very genuine. So the game is basically the data which is available in the net space or in the dark web, which these hackers they have got hold of, and that is the first point of intimidation, that they know details about you. And then they link it up to such cases which you have been hearing on the media, whether it is a Naresh Goyal case or some other case which is in the limelight, and they try to link it up. And then that poor person is so with fear and intimidation. And now thanks to AI, where with generative AI, I can create a backdrop where I'm sitting in the ED department, and the kind of language and techniques they use are actually how officers speak. And that all creates such a big fear and intimidation that your normal senses are totally zapped at that moment. And that is where this fake court will come in, and they will say to transfer so and so amount, it will be in a supervisory secret account and it will be returned to you after investigation, blah blah blah. And that is how it goes. And even recently in Noida, there was another 79-year-old person who fell to a victim and he lost 2 crores. There was a lady of 73-year-old who lost 1.36 crores. So these cases are on the rise, and the basic thing to understand is that there is no such thing called digital arrest by the police. You have committed a crime, you are wrong, your name or anything has been found in a crime, the police is going to come to your doorstep and say, let's go. So first is to stay calm, to verify information. Just showing a letter, there was a time when people used to get those emails saying that you are a lucky winner of $5 billion from Kaun Banega Crorepati with a picture of Amitabh Bachchan. So every day they are increasing, or you can say they are increasing their capacity. And now they have started using these AI bots where you get an automated call from TRI and they ask you to press 1 or 9, and that is when they call back and all this videos thing. And these calls are all WhatsApp calls. They are generated by, you can call virtual numbers, they are fake numbers, and that is how it happens.
And Dr. Tandon, the fact is that AI is making things worse, because in this case, look at what happens. Even a Supreme Court hearing is faked. And in his FIR, Mr. Oswal is saying, and in fact, as we speak, I'm probably getting one of those fake calls. But Mr. Oswal is saying that I thought I heard the Chief Justice of India speak because the voice was so similar. The poor man was put on something called Skype surveillance. Unka Skype 2 din 2 raat pura chalu raha. Because the fraudsters said that you are under this Skype surveillance. I'm just looking at the mind-boggling details that the fraudsters have gone through. Yeah.
So I'll just give an example here. That day I was on one of the social medias and I saw a video of Mr. Virat Kohli conversing for a game. And I could make out, being a technology expert, that it was fake, but it was the voice of Virat Kohli. So they are using AI voice cloning, which is easily available as lightweight tools, which are available on open source. And they can pick up an audio clip from any of the so-called social medias, and from there, they try to clone this and they try to create the same voice. There have been so many incidences. Apart from this digital arrest, there are 2 more serious things which are going on, and they are also being used with AI. One is work from home scam and crypto scam, and the second one is fake trading apps. And there they are using, even you will see fake videos of Shri Mukesh Ambani and Narayan Murthy saying that I have invested in this company, so this is a good thing to invest, and I got a return of 40%. And that is, these kind of fake, deep fake videos are openly available. Now you are smart enough to identify, you understand that this is fake, you are safe. But there are people who actually get influenced with it. So yes, I have no doubts in it what Mr. Oswal has said, that he heard this voice. Yes, they must have taken an audio clip, and it is easy not only to fabricate, but to patch it up. There were times before AI, there were cases of fake audios being cropped. So we will take suppose we'll take a speech of Rakshit Tandon from some TEDx speech, and I'll take some words, what he's saying, and then I'll stitch it up, and then I'll play it. So it will seem as if I am intimidating somebody or I'm threatening somebody. So yes, technology is playing a wide role, and especially AI now, with deep fakes, with this generative things, creating a backdrop, everything.
So here's the So here's the thing. Don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you hear, ladies and gentlemen. That needs to be your mantra. Every time you get a call from an unknown number. In fact, the government of India is on record to say, do not pick up calls that are coming to you from unknown numbers. Speaking of the government, the fact is that if you look at cybercrime, especially when it comes to financial crimes, if we look at data from last year to this year, the number of cases are doubling. If you look at data from 2020 to 2024, the number of cases have gone up by a huge margin, which means not just fraudsters getting smarter and increasing their tribe, it also means that the government is always 2 steps behind, because the government has simply not been unable to curb these financial crimes. So many people in and around you, especially senior citizens, have fallen prey to it. And sharam ke mare, log iske bare mein baat nahi karte hain. You know, a 75-year-old retired DIG from the BSF will not want to speak about it. And so we don't even get to know a lot of cases.
Shreya, good evening. A lot of things have been already said by Mr. Tandon. First of all, I would like to state that these cases are bound to grow by leaps and bounds in the days to come with the technology growing. But only one thing I would like to advise your viewers today is that please don't transfer any money online. There's no reason. I mean, nobody in the government they ask you for money. There are corrupt people in all the systems. So in the government also, there are a number of people who would ask for money, but generally that transaction is always physical. This concept of transferring money to save, evade arrest, or save oneself from this kind of alleged humiliation is, I think, one should be very, very wary of. See, as far as the banks are concerned, the government is concerned, government has already launched a cybercrime helpline. The banks are advising you on a daily basis. I get at least 5 to 7 messages every day from the banks saying that please don't divulge your OTP or this information, that information to anybody. So somebody trying to create a fake account, somebody trying to tell you that you are under arrest or an arrest warrant has been issued against you, is one should immediately disconnect the phone. If you ask me honestly, uski 2-4 maa behan nikalni chahiye and then you disconnect the phone. See, these people are incorrigible. The people are making other people or the victims their prey because of greed and fear. Now, greed is where, like Mr. Tandon has just mentioned, that it is a question of making money on a certain app or certain platform. The fear is where they put you under the fear of arrest. So there are 2-3 things. You have this kind of case happening mainly to the people who are slightly overage, but also people who are in their 40s,
Sure.
50s, 30s,
Sure.
even youngsters for that matter. And the second one is where, the fraudsters, they call you on the name of a utility company, like an electric department. And the calls are invariably coming from a private number. One should immediately make out that this is a fake call. This is not a government call. Now,
Correct.
like Mr. Tandon said, people have started using the automated voice service also, where you will first get an automated message. And then the message will start that your bill is in arrears, your electricity connection is going to be disconnected. So ingenuity on the part of the fraudsters is unimaginable. I mean, they can encash on anything that they can.
Okay.
But
so,
it is, I think, in today's time,
Dr.
it is buyers
Rakshit,
beware. People
ठीक
have
है.
to, people are being educated on a daily basis. But I think one
You
has to
have to be
understand very,
careful,
very clearly that
because no
transfer of
bank
money
will.
online.
Yeah. The fact is, if you lose money, the responsibility is yours. The bank will not take responsibility for it. Even the company in
That's
whose
right.
name the fraud is being conducted will not take responsibility. So the responsibility is yours. Therefore, you have to be careful. You will even write to the company in whose name a fraud is being conducted. They'll simply tell you, contact your nearest law enforcement agency. They just
That's right.
wash their
That's right.
hands off any scam in their name. Dr. Rakshit Tandon, take 20 seconds and tell our viewers what are dead giveaways. How to stay away from these scammers. What are the dead giveaways when you get a call like this?
Zero trust, that is the first thing. Zero trust on any link, any call, or any application they're requesting you to install on your phone. Your phone is your wealth now, and you don't allow any unknown person to come around your wealth. So your phone has your wallets, your phone has your mobile banking, your phone has your demat accounts. So first, this is very important. Second, something goes wrong, something is fishy, please report on 1930. In this case also, if 5.25 CR has been recovered, it is all because of I4C 1930, which was an automated financial fraud reporting system which could freeze the amount and get it back from the hackers, and they didn't allow the hackers to take the money. So these are two things. Zero trust is very important. And second, please use these tools now. Every telecom provider is also giving you these automated AI things which is saying suspected spam, suspected calls. So there are these tools which are available on your devices which will tell you whether the number is a genuine number or a spam number.
Okay. I hope all our viewers are careful and will be careful every time they get a call from an unknown number. Don't pick up that call first of all. And even if you do, operate from the basis of zero trust, as Dr. Rakshit is saying. Dr. Rakshit, thank you very much for joining us. PK Jain, thank you. And Murli Krishnan, thank you very much for sharing your experience.